Whatnot sellers. Hello, hello. This is Live Selling 365, and today we are talking algorithms, i.e. discoverability on Whatnot. They have a whole big old write-up about it, which I will link in the description where I'm getting this information from. But today was just going to be the TLDR, just pulling out some snippets that really are the key points. Okay, so if I'm new to you, my name is Tamika Crow of Custom Wood Burning. I sell heat gun art on Whatnot for 3 years now, about 3 years, and posting videos here to just share some of the insights and things about live selling that hopefully can help others in their journey. Since this is a new landscape and it's tricky, it's a lot to navigate. So discoverability, i.e. the algorithm, is what we're talking today. Whatnot says, algorithms influence shows that users see in their For You, their page, like news feed, the follow hosts feed, and the category feeds, those 3 places, okay? Algorithms in general are based off of signals, their words. There's a whole lot of them, but such as users' explicit or implied interests, which is like when we get the app and we say, I'm interested in X, Y, and Z category, Whatnot will see that and they go, well, if you're into this, you're probably also into this. We're going to go ahead and offer you those shows as well. Quality of the buyer experience, which is listing quality, i.e. quality listings, as opposed to like random pulls, that matters per the algorithm. Ship time, order fulfillment, refund rates, cancellation rates, this kind of stuff. So like the practices that Whatnot expects us to operate within anyway. And a seller's show formats, which I believe they're referring to auction versus buy now show formats, and it does not say which may rank higher or be more favorable to the algorithm, so it possibly depends on the category. There's not clarification there, but it also says product categories, product as in like the listing categories, can impact placement in the feeds. So here's the way I look at this. If there's, so we schedule our show and we put it in a certain category, and then we have like all of our listings in the show, and then each of those listings can have its own category, right? And so the way I think of this one, this is my assessment, just my assessment, is that the closer the match between the show category and the listing category is, the higher the ranking. So for instance, if there are 2 sellers with shows in the Disney category, and seller A has 100 items in their shop that are all Disney listings, and then seller B has 100 items in their shop and 5 of them are Disney listings, and then the whole rest are like clothes or something. Seller A ought to rank higher in the feed. So listing categories matter. For a couple notes on each of the 3 of the For You, the followed hosts, and the category feeds. For the For You, Whatnot says it is designed for discovery. So there are some shows they present to us that are sellers we follow, and there are some that are not sellers that we follow. Designed for discoverability. So it's only live shows. This is unique to the For You page. And then without going into too much of like the little details, there's a lot of notes in here. Again, it'll be linked in the description. The overall takeaway for the ranking system in the For You page is sales are king. Sales are king. A couple words that they refer to specifically that impact ranking are the average order value, bids, and orders in general. So sales are king. Bookmarks also help. Both of these things were mentioned in the article, but also at the Austin Summit. They had a whole thing about this. And all those folks that you bookmark, this is where their shows end up. How they're ranked mixes in with sales shows, okay? So that's the For You page. For the followed hosts news feed, this is only folks that you follow, and they're ranked by historical, quote unquote, historical popularity, which is how much activity the channel has generated in the recent past. So sometimes we know certain sellers and we're like, man, I haven't been seeing your show. Where's your show at? It could be that they're not active enough, so that historical activity is like down ranking them. Even if you follow them, right? It's down ranking. So that's it for followed hosts. And then for category feeds, there's just like 3 takeaways for this. One of them is it works the same as far as it's ranked and ordered by historical popularity, how much activity, which is largely referring to sales, to be clear. And then this one is designed to, the categories are less designed for discoverability, and they're more to, their words, surface popular content, period. And so whoever's the most popular in that category, that's who's going to the top of the feed. And it's important to know this, because if we want those rankings, then we gotta, which we'll talk about next, understand like who they're putting up there. So it's a popularity contest, okay? But also notable is the category feeds can like dually place certain shows. So they're within Whatnot, there's like your primary categories, and then there's subcategories. For instance, woodworking is embedded in arts and handmade. And so folks looking at arts and handmade, if I put a show in the woodworking category, folks searching arts and handmade are also going to see my show. It'll probably post to both, right? Woodworking and arts and handmade. Another example is if somebody is selling baseball cards and they're in the baseball cards category, or basketball cards, their show will probably also post to the general like sports cards category, like that. So either case, that's the category feed. So with all three of these, For You, followed hosts, and category feeds, recent historical activity, popularity, and sales drive the placement, okay? But here's a couple notes. From Whatnot, they give 3 tips. Number 1, as far as like what we can do to uprank ourselves, is focus on a great buyer experience, right? The more activity, the higher it goes, the higher we go. Compliance with guidelines. This is, maybe we don't get raised up in the algorithm for following guidelines, like we don't get a gold star or anything, but we may get downranked if we don't. So compliance with guidelines matters. And then they say accurate categorization. So there are some sellers who try to like catfish, as it were, to where you go, well, this category is popular, and so designer handbags, for instance, and even though I have these things, I have one Coach purse, and so I'm going to go ahead and put myself over there. That's not like totally honest. And so they know that, like, let's not get it twisted. Tech platforms have AI and data to make these decisions and stuff. They know when we're doing stuff like that. So accurate categorization matters in your ranking, okay? And then just to reiterate and kind of summarize from my own assessment of this whole thing is the 3 main takeaways from this and from the Austin Summit, Whatnot Summit in Austin. The 3, if there was to be 3 things to just write down, because this is a lot of information. Sales are king. Sales are king. Sales are king. Okay. Number 2, consistency is rewarded. When they're talking about activity, I know this is a little longer, but it's importante. When they're talking about recent historical activity, consistency matters, right? I have run tests in different categories, so can anecdotally confirm this, that the more consistently you show up in the same category, the higher your ranking is going to be. It just is how it works. If you go to a brand new category, even if you are placed correctly, your inventory lines up and everything like that, you could have you could have a couple thousand followers and sales over here, but if you're brand new to this category over here, you're at the bottom, right? Because your consistency is over there. So sales are king, consistency is rewarded, and then the third thing is compliance matters. Compliance matters. Sales are king, consistency is rewarded, and compliance matters. So I hope this clarifies. Again, I'm going to post the actual article in the description. So highly recommend it. It's longer than what I'm giving you now. But one more last thing is that there's always people without fail saying that tapping the hearts, you know what I'm talking about? The hearts, tapping the screen, tapping the hearts, boost the algorithm. This is certified, reiterated multiple times by Whatnot, that this is not true. It's false. It's totally false. And so I just want to put that on the record. It's me putting it on the record right there. And we will cap it here. So I want to thank you for watching. If you found value in this, please give it a thumbs up. So it'll push it out so more people can get this information. And I hope to see you next time. I love you. Bye-bye.